Right then, let's see what the rags are saying today. Hello friends, what's up? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I forgot my name for a second. I hope you lot are doing well. I really do hope that. Jesus. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here, of course, where I go across the rags, see what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on said headlines, but more importantly, asking for yours. Two big whoppers today. Firstly, Maurizio Sarri, the new Lazio manager, is looking to bring Ruben Loftus-Cheek to his new Serie A side. One of his favourite ever players who he thought could be one of the best players in Europe. I'm inclined to agree in many ways. More on that in just a moment. And Football.London have published an article on Achraf Hakimi and Erling Haaland, how Hakimi might want to be reunited with the super gunman up top. Who knows, both potentially at Chelsea. The news never stops here on Football Therapy, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel with the all-important bell notifications icon switched on. If you want to show some appreciation for my work, feel free to drop a like, it means a lot. And of course, you can always check out Football Yannick for daily content as well regarding world football stories. And I'm covering the Euros on that channel. You can check out Football Yannick by clicking the card in the corner or clicking the link in the description. Thanks for that, my friends. Alright then, let's get into the video and start talking about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek, Loftus-Cheek, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. No. Yeah, anyway, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, one of my favourite players. If you're a fan of Football Therapy and you've been watching my content for a long time now, you will know that I've waxed lyrical many a time about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Not necessarily about his loan stint at Fulham, but certainly the 18-19 season under Maurizio Sarri when we won the Europa League, when he broke into that team and he was a starting midfielder. He was magnificent combining on the left-hand side with Eden Hazard, scoring some superb goals. He had an excellent goal and an assist per 90 ratio for Chelsea in the Premier League. And indeed, Europe, I believe he scored as many outfield goals as Paul Pogba that season, and Paul Pogba was having a really good season, and he did it in about a quarter of the minutes. That's right, Ruben looked incredible. He was a young, early 20s beast. He would just drive. He does like what Reece James does now on the flank. He'd do it from midfield. People would literally bounce off him. He'd keep the ball close to his feet. He had twinkle toes, and he could, curl it top bins. He could, chest it down, hold up the ball like a striker, like a centre forward. He looked like a really intriguing tool that you could utilise in different ways. And Maurizio Sarri, he liked to play a possession-based football, actually ended up turning to Ruben Loftus-Cheek to show something different from driving from really deep. It was nothing short of a tragedy, him having that Achilles injury. For a friggin' friendly away in the USA, it still makes my blood boil now. And he's never really been the same, sadly. But theoretically, he's still yet to enter his prime football years, and could still make it as a top-tier exciting footballer. And apparently Maurizio Sarri wants him as his first signing, that's pretty telling, in Lazio. So I'm going to cite an article from Football 365 giving you a little bit more information on this story. Maurizio Sarri has asked Lazio to make Chelsea midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek his first signing, according to reports in Italy. The 25-year-old has spent the season on loan at Fulham and made 31 Premier League appearances for the Cottagers, scoring once. Yeah, it wasn't a good loan season. Loftus-Cheek enjoyed his best spell so far in Sarri's only season at Stamford Bridge, and the Italian claimed in 2019 that the midfielder can be, quote, one of Europe's best players, end quote. And that's not sensationalism. I genuinely believe that, especially in that season in 2019, I think that was Eden Hazard's best ever season for Chelsea. Yeah, I think it was. And at times, Ruben Loftus-Cheek was the go-to guy. When Hazard wasn't turning up, Ruben would, provide that moment of magic. He was that good. People forget. He was really, really good. Go back and look. Sarri is expected to be named as Lazio's new manager this week and has asked the club's owner, Claudio Lotito, to bring in Loftus-Cheek immediately. Speaking earlier this year, Loftus-Cheek said that Sarri was the most influential manager in his career so far. Quote, I felt like he was truthful with me. At the start, I wasn't playing. He told me why and said if I wanted to play, I have to do this. And that gave me something to work towards, and eventually, I started started to do what he asked, and I played. And that's true, it wasn't all like sunshine and rainbows for both Callum Hudson-Odoi and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They both had to earn their place on the pitch, and Sarri eventually trusted both of them to put them on. An ACL injury hampered his development as he missed almost a year of action. The midfielder only managed to make 7 league appearances for Chelsea in the 1920 season before joining Fulham on loan. Since Sarri's departure, Loftus-Cheek has struggled to get back into the Chelsea side, but he has claimed that he sees his future in West London. That's good. It's nice that he's not giving up, because he's played well at Stamford Bridge. You know, like at 23 years old or however old he was. You know, if he's 25, he must have been like 22, 23. I always thought he was older than that. But still, he's experienced it. He knows what it's like to play well at Stamford Bridge and have the fans cheering his name. And he's only 25 years old. Why give up on that, on your boyhood club? You know, why? Even if it's unlikely to make it, why give up on it? That's what I'm saying. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, against all odds. Speaking at the start of the season, the 25-year-old said, "I was the one who initiated the loan. It felt paramount that I played a lot of football this season. With the strength and depth at Chelsea now, and how I was feeling, I was not sure of being out for so long. When I had the opportunity that I could play, I was not 100% I could do that, but I needed to build my confidence back up. I still see myself at Chelsea. I believe in my ability 100%. Good. That's good from Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Now, as many of you might be watching this thinking, you know what he's done at Chelsea. We're playing this Tuchel system. We're playing these inside 10s. But the truth is, Tuchel's already come out and said he's a fan of him playing as a youth player. He thinks he's like Michael Ballack. He says he wants to look at him playing rather than judging him from afar. So that would make you think he wants to see Ruben Loftus-Cheek on a pre-season before he sort of sanctions a loan to Lazio. I personally believe in his ability, or certainly I believed in his ability prior to his Achilles injury. We have to see what happens in developments from now onwards. I'm hoping he can still have a good footballing career, and I'm like, I've got maybe a snowball's chance in hell, but I'm still hoping he can do something at Chelsea. Anyway, I'll keep you posted on developments. That could be a really exciting loan for us to watch from afar. Imagine if he tears it up in Italy, that would be awesome. Right then, let's move on to the Football.London story and talk about Haaland Hakimi link up. So yes, of course, Hakimi and Haaland did play together last season at Dortmund. Hakimi was fantastic playing left wing back instead of right wing back like he's been playing at Inter, and he played that role incredibly well, and he was servicing the absolute elite gunman Erling Haaland. So they had a good time together, combined well, and they probably, both of them, will be very interested in linking back up in Southwest London should a deal materialise for the two. I'm going to take you now through the Football.London articles, stopping at parts to analyse what's being said, and we can talk about it together. The summer transfer window may have only officially opened for business in England yesterday, but already Chelsea are looking to put plans in place ahead of the start of next season. Fresh from winning the UEFA Champions League, champions of Europe, we know what we are. Just under a fortnight ago, the Blues have a grand ambitions to lay their hands on the Premier League title next term and continue their success under Thomas Tuchel. Yet it really does seem under Thomas Tuchel that Chelsea's ambition and target next season is to win the league. Since being appointed Chelsea boss in January, Tuchel has transformed the Blues' fortunes, turning them from a mid-table sitters to top 4 finishes and European champions. But in an attempt to take his side to the next level ahead of the 21-22 campaign, Tuchel has aspirations to add 3 new faces to his squad during this summer transfer window, with a right-sided defender, a central midfielder, and a striker understood to be on the Germans' wish list. Now, this is interesting because for so long, Chelsea were being rumoured to be linked with a new elite centre-back, and maybe if they sign Christensen onto a new deal, maybe if Reece James plays right centre-back a little bit more, maybe they won't go in for a new centre-half. Maybe they will go for a right wing-back, central midfielder and striker. We'll have to see what happens, but for so long, it seemed like a centre-back is the one that they really want. It's no secret that bringing a new striker is Tuchel's top priority, and it is believed that Borussia Dortmund sensation Erling Haaland is the top choice, with the Norway international continuing to go from strength to strength as each month passes by. Although Chelsea would be forced to spend over 150 million to land the 20-year-old, who has netted 41 goals in his 41 appearances in all competitions this season. 41 in 41. They would be inheriting a star for the here and now as well as the future, with his ceiling absolutely unimaginable. Also as well, we don't know it'll be 150 million plus. Chelsea might still be able to execute a deal like, the Pulisic loan back deal, which again is only a theory, I haven't really heard that from anywhere. Basically giving Dortmund more money than the buyout clause and basically making sure Chelsea get him over any other club. So we don't know how it's going to happen yet. Also, people have theorised that Tammy Abraham could be offered to Dortmund, a move that might suit the player and both clubs for the transfer part exchange deal. Maybe. If Chelsea were to swoop for Haaland this summer and successfully bring him to Stamford Bridge, he could be reunited with former Dortmund teammate Achraf Hakimi. The Morocco international, now on the books of Inter Milan, has been the subject of a £56 million bid from Chelsea, as Tuchel looks to bring the former Real Madrid man to West London in a bid to bolster the right wing-back role. Yes, people are still raising eyebrows at that because the right wing-back role has been occupied by a quite brilliant Reece James, but go back to previous videos to find out my theorising on this about Reece James going right centre-back, Hakimi covering for left wing-back, Reece James and Hakimi just rotating at right wing-back. Plenty of stuff there. Although Chelsea are prepared to spend big money this summer, it remains to be seen on whether they could compete a double swoop for Hakimi and Haaland that would cost around 200 million. But if Chelsea hierarchy are prepared to listen to Hakimi's verdict on Haaland, maybe they will be willing to spend big to sign the Dortmund sensation. Right then, let's hear what Achraf Hakimi has to say. When you have an attacker like him, a goal scorer who scores a lot, who lives for that, it helps enormously, said the Milan defender in his interview with Teleford. I mean, yes, I tend to agree with that, Achraf, because yeah, we don't score goals. 7 penalty goals from Jorginho. 20 league goals from a striker would have probably helped enormously. We hope that he can continue to score for a long time like that. It is good for the team and he wants to finish in the top scorer of the Champions League. How about the top scorer of the Premier League? With Hakimi knowing firsthand what it's like to play with Haaland from their time together at Dortmund, Chelsea could potentially be handed a boost in the hopes of landing the Norway star if they bring Hakimi in first. Inter have said to want around £60 million for Hakimi, meaning Chelsea are slightly short of their valuation at this moment in time. 60 million is totally okay with me, I think. If you think about what Hakimi can offer, how young he is, the teams he's played for, Inter, Real Madrid, Dortmund, played for so well, I'd be quite happy with that. And also, yes, I say it lots, but I'm going to say it more. Chelsea are champions of Europe, and that should be alluring to these guys. If they're like, we can be reunited for the champions of Europe, surely means a lot. Anyway, it's interesting to think of it, that perspective, how they played together and how they might want to play together again at Chelsea, you know, a big club. You know, it's a step up for both Hakimi and Haaland if you think about their current clubs. No disrespect to Dortmund and Inter, which are both massive clubs of course, but in terms of what Chelsea represent at the moment, it's bigger. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Get in the comment section below, express your thoughts, feelings and emotions on these stories. I'll keep you guys posted on any developments, so keep it locked here to Football Therapy. Thanks for hanging out and thank you for going to check out Football Yannick, the other channel. Have a wonderful day, my sweet friends. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.